Hey, Dave, you know what I think we should do?
What?
We should review a video game. We haven't done that in a year.
No, we don't review games.
No, we should so review.
No, we don't review games.
Yeah, we should.
Games are stupid.
I know, but like, this is content.
All right, when you put it like that.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, everybody.
I do love a good Star War. You've convinced me.
I am a fan of some stars that war. It's very fun, very fantastic. So this is a sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes, correct.
There we go. A game that we have not reviewed because that game came out before we were even a show.
That was pre-DCM.
Yeah, so it's not a canon video game. It doesn't exist.
It does not exist.
But we
Any
have
games that came out before. When did we start the show? 2018, 2019.
No, 2020.
Was it 2020?
2020.
All right, any games before 2020 don't exist.
Yeah, sorry, all the video games.
Oh well.
Pong's not real.
Nope.
It was a myth, like birds in South Dakota. It's not real.
That means the Super Mario Brothers movie, not a video game movie.
Yeah, no, sorry. It's actually an original screenplay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I hope it gets that at the Oscars. Now, so this is a sequel to Fallen Order, a game that essentially was Respawn, instead of EA letting them out of the caves to make Titanfall 3 like everyone wants, they instead made Star Wars Dark Souls.
Yes.
And I thought it was okay.
I
liked it
a lot for the most part.
I give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah. I thought it was good, solid, had some issues, but I was very optimistic that this new game would solve a lot of my issues. And it didn't.
There's some other issues.
So let's start off with the game's premise. So is it 5 years?
I think it's 5 years on.
5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order. I am not explaining the plot of Jedi Fallen Order because the game tells you this the moment you opens it, okay? But 5 years after the events of the first game, the Jedi Cal Kestis...
He's doing his thing. He's fighting the Empire.
With Saw Gerrera. Note, he is never actually in the game. He is mentioned in name only.
Which is weird because he was in Fallen Order.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right, he was.
Yeah, so I don't know why they...
And he's there with a new buddy called Bode, who keeps talking about protecting his kid.
And also those other guys.
That die in the first 20 minutes.
First mission, and then you never... I think Bode mentions one of them once near the end of the game. And but that's the only time you ever actually hear him.
So you go to fight the Empire, and then you did a little oopsie doodle, and one of the 7 sisters from the last game who I thought was...
It's the 9th sister, Howard.
9th sister. The one I totally didn't know was still alive, by the way.
But we don't see her die.
She got yeeted off a tree.
And it was a big
That
tree.
was like hundreds of feet in the air, so I just thought she kind of went splat.
Listen, Darth Maul got cut in half and he survived.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow Masana Tide returned.
So the 9th sister comes back and kills your whole crew, and then you have to beat her and then run away.
Yeah, hold on. I want to mention something about that because something seemed really off to me.
Okay.
About not the fight itself, but the cutscene that plays at the end of that fight, where spoiler alert, she dies. Cal kills her, and like he's like, oh, your name was Masana Tide. You were a Jedi before you betrayed our order. She doesn't respond.
Yeah, she just kind of gets
She's
like
it's such a weird, awkward, stilted. It's not even a conversation because she's not talking.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, was she supposed to have lines?
This is going into one of my main issues with the game.
Okay.
Is that the dialogue feels off a lot, a lot, and I'll explain this as we keep going. But the gameplay premise is pretty simple. It's Dark Souls, and you get 3 stances. All right. You get a single sword, a defensive like Darth Maul, like dual blade, and you get a fast twin lightsaber thing. All right, you get 3 gameplay styles.
And more you unlock later.
Exactly, and it has like kind of like like a Metroidvania approach to exploring areas, and you can't get everything in the level the first time you go through, so you have to collect stuff and et cetera, blah 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 blah. So that's the gameplay premise. It's pretty simple, all right? The issue I had in the last game is that all the level design was donkey doo-doo. It was bad. A lot of levels were really annoying to do the traversal part of the Metroidvania part in. They fixed that, by the way. Really well.
Yes.
All the levels are better. Like the Coruscant level in the beginning. So after you kill the Ninth Sister, you fly into space, and you're a little upset, a little heartbroken, and Cal just wants to kind of run away, but he feels obligated to fight. So he goes to find the old cast from the first game again.
Well, specifically Grease.
Because he broke the ship.
He broke the ship.
So he has to get the guy to refix the ship. And we then get introduced that there's now an overworld in which, kind of like Banjo-Kazooie style, it's a giant open world, which is, thankfully, the worst designed part of the area, with little individual dungeons and levels branching the open world, which the branching stuff's really well done. The open world's a snooze fest.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to do in the overworld itself.
But you find Grease, and there's you find out that the whole entire planet's run by mercenaries, led by a big guy called Ravis.
Yeah.
And he throws.
I found this out late game. He's the same species as Dirge from the 2D Clone Wars series.
Which was a good. This is why I'm very proud of this game. That's one of the only references I noticed to outside Star Wars material that wasn't in your face, other than the two obvious characters at the end.
Yeah.
But I was the whole time I'm like, oh, they don't have Ahsoka coming and going, hi everyone, I'm Ahsoka Tano. Watch me do a little dance.
They didn't really have that in Fallen Order either.
They didn't. But however, they had even less of that in this one. You know what I mean? It's not like, hi there, I'm Gulp Shido, and watch me do my little Gulp Shido Fortnite floss dance. Oh, I'm a reference. Hi, bye. And then he leaves, contributing nothing.
God,
we didn't have that.
The way you said that sounded like a Rick and Morty character.
Oh, no, I'm getting better at that voice. But, yeah, you find Ravis, and he yeets a little frog dude called Turgle, who's voiced by Richard Horvitz, the guy who does
So just as a
Billy
heads
and Mandy.
up, Turgle will be nominated for multiple DCMEs this year.
Turgle's sweet, by the way.
Yes.
Turgle's the man. And you find out, oh my God, so Turgle was selling them something. They want a key to somewhere. You don't really know. You go to Grease, and Grease, fixes up your ship, but he owns a bar now. He's getting old. He's getting shaky. He doesn't want to go on another adventure.
But then he's like, nah, I want to go on an adventure.
Yeah, I even saved your old outfit. Let's go on an adventure.
But you find you're exploring, and you find an old droid from the High Republic era, which I want to get into a little bit, because the High Republic era stuff, they started that, I want to say 2020s when they started doing High Republic stuff. So it's 200 years prior to the Phantom Menace. It's been a little divisive in the Star Wars fandom. Some people really like it, some people really do not care for it. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I mostly like a lot of the stuff, but I know you're not really in depth into the fandom, so I'm curious as to what you thought about the High Republic stuff.
First I got excited because I was like, oh dude, the Old Republic. Dude, those games were sick. And then then they started talking and I went, oh no, it's not the Old Republic. That droid's okay.
Okay.
I like the design of the droid.
Yeah, no.
What's her name? Z?
Z. I don't remember her full designation, but they only call her that in the very beginning. They only refer to her as Z from then on.
Yeah. So you find Z, and Z tells you that there was two Jedi in search of a mystical land above where the planet you are on. There's a storm in front of this planet. And there's a map that you can use to get through the storm to get to a planet in which no one can literally get you, called Tanalorr. But the issue is, the Jedi who owned the robot wiped her memory drive, so she only knows to go to one location that's on the planet you're on. So Cal goes, duh, okay, let me just go do that. So he does, and he finds another Jedi.
Dagan Gera.
And there's an issue. He's mad. He's really, really mad.
Dagan, when you meet Dagan, he literally does the meme of waking up and choosing violence. He wakes up.
He's missing an
He's
arm,
missing,
by
he's
the
missing
way.
an arm. It's pretty cool.
He only has like shorts on. He gets out of like a stasis
A back to
tank.
tank, yeah.
Yeah.
Which they had at I don't know if it was E3 last year. They had at some game conference. They did something for Jedi Survivor, and they had like a back to tank with him in it, and like they didn't say anything about it. It was just kind of there, and then Cameron Monaghan came out and said, "Here's a trailer for the game." There was like no context for it, and it was like, what was that?
Who is this homeless man floating in a tank?
It was very weird.
he gets out of the tank.
Immediately bleeds his kyber crystal and turns to the dark side.
Yeah. He had an orange lightsaber, and Cal's like, "Hey, just so you know, the Jedi Order did. We're the last one alive." And as he's turning his crystal to the obvious evil color, he goes, "That means you're the last one alive." And then proceeds to beat the snot out of you because he's mad.
Yeah.
With one arm, might I add.
Yeah.
And he has 2 lightsabers. He has one arm, 2 lightsabers, and is beating you up, the main character. He chose violence, and he's winning.
Yeah. It's great. I love Dagon's great. So
He's a really fun character.
he's a really fun character. He's a really fun to fight too. The second fight especially was like,
oh my god, yeah, that was fun. So turns out after you fight him and he just kind of gets bored of you and just walks away. It turns out he was the bandits from the village. They were they worked for.
They were buddy the whole time.
Yeah, so like that Ravis guy has been trying for hundreds of years to wake up him.
This goes into one of the issues I have, which I feel like we'll talk about more later. But this game has way too many villains.
Oh, way too.
It has way too many villains.
Way too many villains.
It's ridiculous.
And none of them are ever fully developed.
No.
Yeah, so now you have to fight Ravis and the bandits and Dagon Garen.
Who has now started arming the bandits with lightsabers.
Yeah. He just somehow found lightsabers. I
don't know where he's getting those.
He just has lightsabers, and he just had the free time to teach like 30 people how to use a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I have some rad lightsabers. All right, take them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use them because I got my cool one.
Yeah.
So yeah, then where do you go to the moon or do you go to the desert first?
I think you can do one of the two.
Okay. So, out of one of the 2 times you can choose to go where you want, you can either go to the Shattered Moon to find out more about what the hell is going on, the Shattered Moon of the planet that you're on, or you can try to find your old master and your other friend in the desert.
On Jeddah, which is
Jeddah.
a planet from Rogue One where they all were before the Empire destroyed it, you know?
So, Shattered Moon's just a cool area, whatever, I don't care. Because I want to go to Jeddah. So you find your old master, and by the way, her design is raw as hell. By the way, her redesign is absolutely phenomenal. She went from just being like a regular woman, and then she like became a wandering monk searching for books, and she has like tribal tattoos and like armored togas. And
You know whose redesign
rad.
I don't like?
Who?
I don't like Marin's redesign.
Oh, do I have some things to say?
I don't. She just has like a hoodie on.
Yeah, she just has a
It's
hoodie.
so boring.
So yeah, you find those 2, and you have a whole mission to go out and find something, because the whole game is just you have to find some mystical thing to piece together the history of the Tanalorr. They try to do a romantic relationship,
Which I feel like they hinted at just a tad in Fallen Order.
I can see them together, but this is my main issue. The more I play this, the more and more I realize half the dialogue in this game is just like Josh Whedon Avengers garbage. Like literally, they try to like rush the as you play through a level, like you can have like co-op buddies, and Marin's a co-op buddy in Jeddah, and they're running around, and literally when they talk to each other, I understand they're trying to like in my head, I know they're trying to be like, these people are flirting. But they sound like Sonic and Shadow at the end of Sonic Adventure 2. Like just doing the running bit. That's how they talk to each other. Literally, it's like, can you help me? Oh yeah? Can you survive the next area? It's like, thanks, Marin, love you too, honey. Okay. You Jedi sure know how to do things. Oh, thank goodness I'm here. Like, they literally talk like 90s mascots.
I do wish they would have.
It's insufferable.
It's a little tough because, like, I know They didn't go into it much in Fallen Order. They like hinted at it a bit.
Yeah.
But I know there's like the tie-in novel Battle Scars, I think it's called. I haven't read it yet, but I think they like flesh out their relationship more. But like, I shouldn't have to read a book to know the backstory there.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to read a book.
I will read the book, but I shouldn't have to read the book.
There's nothing wrong with the premise.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just going to say that. It's just the dialogue in this game sometimes is unironically so not campy, but like Marvel levels of corny.
Just a little bit.
Where they're too scared to fully commit to the corniness, so they try to act like you can hear the puff in their chest as they say the stupidest line you'll ever hear in your goddamn life. And they're like, yeah, dude, that's how we establish how relationships work. Which, yeah, you know what? Relationships, I guess they are a lot like Sonic and Shadow at the end of Sonic Adventure 2. But at least you guys know you guys are acting like idiots from Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
These two are acting like it's like, oh, dude, this is a serious love relationship as we just do Buffy the Vampire quips at each other for 4 hours, then share one kiss and then never talk about it again.
They kissed twice,
I
think. Maybe 3 times.
Yeah, and that's like an issue with all the dialogue. That's all I want to say. That's my issue.
What happens in the plot?
They find the doohickey for something.
They go to the moon.
Oh, they have to find parts of the compass to go to
Right.
Tanalorr. So there's one compass on the moon, one compass on Jeddah, and then they have to go back to the main planet to find the compass there. But you have to find the 2 other compasses first. Okay? So you find the 2 other compasses.
I want to go off. I'm just going to go off on a little tangent on the High Republic again. The whole shattered moon, and there's the cataclysm, like why Kobo's like all kind of screwed up. I like the fact that they brought stuff in from the High Republic, but they didn't like shove it in your face like, hey, this was the main thing that happened in the High Republic. They just used that main thing as like a jumping off point. So in the High Republic, the main threat is the Nile, and those are the people who invaded Tanalorr, you see, in the storm and the ships. So their whole thing is that they screwed around with hyperspace. Like, they didn't have normal hyperspace drives. They had this one woman who could like see paths through hyperspace that would normally not be possible.
Wait, that's kind of rad,
Yeah.
actually.
So what they did to like kickstart their whole plan is that they interrupted hyperspace and like made a ship that was in hyperspace crash. So parts of it flew through hyperspace throughout the entire galaxy and like just crashed into planets.
Bro, they literally just did like a fighting game cancel on a hyper.
Yes.
Wait, that's like
So
like
that
Warhammer
that was
levels
the
of cool.
great cataclysm. So that's what happened to the moon. That's why it's the shattered moon, because part of the ship
Something
hit.
going at like faster than the speed of light was abruptly stopped and blown up.
Exactly.
That's okay.
It's real. So I like how they kind of just used that as like sort of a background detail. You know, the Nile are mentioned, but I don't even think they're mentioned like. So no one says the word Nile. It's only ever in like the databank logs.
Yeah.
Which I like that. I like that they didn't like shove it in your face that, hey, this is the High Republic stuff. It's nice.
Yeah, because if they did, Dag and Garen would go, they're right behind me, aren't they? As he turns around to find the Armada behind him.
Yeah. Martian Row, or Markian, I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Yeah.
He's the main bad guy.
Yeah. You know, we forgot to say spoilers ahead, but I don't care anymore. I'll just have like a little piece of text.
Yeah, we'll have a big like flashing warning at the top of the video.
Yeah. So you find the 2 biddies of the compass to go to Tanalorr. At that point, you get 2 new stances. You get Kylo Ren's crossguard lightsaber, and it's like a big, heavy.
It's like a great sword.
Like a
you
great
hold it
sword.
with 2 hands.
And it's cool. And then you get my favorite, just stolen straight from the Yakuza Like a Dragon, a stance where you just get a gun and you hold a lightsaber in the other hand.
Yeah.
That was my go-to.
Yeah, I did a lot of. Blaster was the main.
Yeah.
But I would switch between like dual blade and the crossguard.
Yeah.
Because like the dual blade obviously is really great for crowd control, but then the crossguard just, despite how slow it is
It's
very powerful.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
It can melt high tier enemies if you're good enough.
So I think we're kind of getting closer to the end of the game. I know we're blitzing through it, so we're like at the halfway point. So now we can talk about gameplay. Because the Great Sword reminds me. So we said the game is a lot like Dark Souls. So it heavily focuses on you using combat and being resourceful. You have a limited amount of force that you can use in a fight before it regenerates. You have a limited amount of guard you can use before it. All right? Kind of like how the stamina worked in Dark Souls. Okay? The issue is that I guess they designed enemies like they would a Devil May Cry enemy because everyone's fast as hell, and in order for you to and everyone has their own guard meter, and you have to break their guard meter in order to hit them. Now, in the last Jedi game, this was fine. I think this was generally fine. There was like one or two annoying enemies. But it's so annoying that now in this game, you have to parry someone's 7-hit combo perfectly in order for you to hit them 3 times. They get full guard. They have an invincible frame evade move. Every enemy has this, by the way. Almost all of them do, right? And then they have 3 unblockable attacks, so you have to do a dodge roll. Half the unblockable attacks in the game can follow you, by the way. So dodge rolling's a joke.
To be fair, most of those are for boss enemies. I didn't. There's only a couple normally encounterable enemies that have that. Mostly the DT sentries.
The DT sentries, almost every single raider enemy, to be honest, that isn't a battle droid. They all have something like that. All the animals have that, especially some of them that have insta-kills, which those are mini-bosses.
Yeah. Because
that's always fun, to have insta-kill grapples that hone after you. That's fun. Thank you. And it's just, and how do they decide difficulty? They just keep shoving in more of the harder enemies with unblockables.
It really started to feel, because I was having a great time, up until a late game, big twist that I will get into shortly.
Yeah.
But once that twist happens, it's a really surprising ramp up of difficulty. They are throwing a lot of higher tier enemies at you with a lot of level hazards, and at that point it just gets annoying to play.
Level hazards, and I actually was thinking about this. So there's like a thing in a lot of games like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta where if you can't see an enemy on screen, they move 3 times slower with their AI to attack you because they know you can't see it. But they also know that you're going to move your camera to see them eventually.
Right.
Right? So they attack less frequently. I think when I played it, it was broken. Because sometimes enemies would just act as aggressive if I moved my camera for 1 millisecond. And sometimes when I turned my camera, the enemies were frozen in place.
Oh.
So they acted like they didn't see me. And then I turned the camera around and I just hit an attack button. They went, oh, he's here in front of us. And I'm like, you were just shooting at me 3 seconds ago. What happened here?
I don't think I noticed any of that when I was playing.
I got that when I was playing.
Okay.
So that's a thing. And another thing we can also talk about is, because we're ramping up to the plot, we're just going to end the plot.
Yeah.
So because it's an open world with unlockable dungeons, there's a lot of side quests. So you can fill up, because Greece has a bar, you can fill it up with people. So you can get, people like Turgle. You can get a bounty hunter to find bounties because they want to murder Cal.
You can get the best character in the entire game,
Scuba Steve.
Yes,
Scuba Steve. Yes.
He just likes to fish.
Yeah,
that's his whole character.
He's a little dude, this big. He's
talks with a very thick Scottish accent.
Yep. Like very, very thick Scottish. Like he sounds like the Scotsman from Samurai Jack. That's how comically thick the accent is.
And you can just find him around Kobo fishing, and you can fill up the aquarium in the cantina, and he tells you stories of he tells you his whole backstory about how he grew up as a fisherman.
Yep, that's great. There's also a lady who'll grow a rooftop garden if you bring her seeds. There's also a weird strategy mini game if you find the people for it.
Yes.
Which
the last couple of those were.
Oh, the last couple of them.
Yikes! I was not having fun during the last 2 rounds of that game.
Even with a guide,
yeah,
most strategies didn't work because it was all random. And you can go and explore treasures. You can customize Cal.
Yeah.
I, of course, gave him a mullet, and I did not
Of
take
course,
it off at any
of
singular
course.
point.
Why would you?
You can get
There's
outfits.
even a trophy, an achievement for them to.
If you drop kick someone with the mullet, you get an achievement. If you in Jedi, if there is a clone, there's a little clone training doll. If you wear the headband and attack it, you get an achievement.
Cobra Cal.
Yep, Cobra Cal. And I think the final one is if you just to find and wear the poncho, because the poncho's back. And you can explore. There's a lot of areas to explore, and of course, the more you play through the story, the more abilities unlock. So the more you can go back to previous areas and able to go and get more treasures for customizable parts for Cal, for Beatty, for your lightsaber, lore, health upgrades.
You know
force
what I don't
upgrades.
like
What?
about that? Because you get new abilities.
Yeah.
So in Fallen Order, it felt very natural.
Oh yeah.
Because this, Cal had kind of cut himself off from the Force for a while, and so he had kind of forgotten a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so when he needed to use those abilities, he would have a flashback
To when his master trained him.
for when Jaro Tapal, his master, was training him. In this, it's just like, oh, I remember that conversation with Seer I had. I can do this now.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very weird and disjointed. It broke up the pace a lot.
Yeah, that was true.
And it's like such simple stuff too, like
lifting people
yeah,
up
I
and
can
putting
lift,
them down.
I can lift someone.
Dude, I literally threw a fit when I saw that.
Like, what is that?
It literally, this is near the end of the game, mind you. He goes, wait, I can use the Force to pick things up. You know, the thing they teach you day one.
The thing I've been doing with enemies since I started the game.
Instead of just lifting them up and pushing them, I can actually lift them up and put them down. Dude, why did I forget about this for 4 years?
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's like they were trying so hard to figure out, how can we do this? How can we do this in a way that seems natural? And I guess this is the best way.
This is the best way.
And it's not really the best way. I don't know if I could have done it any better, but still.
All right. So is that everything other than the plot?
I think
Because
so.
you can explore everywhere in this game.
Yeah.
So you get a Coruscant, you get the moon, you get the main Kobo, and then you get Jeddah. So those are 4 locations. Kobo is interesting enough. Jeddah is boring because deserts are boring. Fight me. The moon base was cool.
Yep.
And Coruscant was just a tutorial.
Yeah.
With which actually, I don't know. I think, pro tip, once you get all the abilities, go back to the very first area of Coruscant. There's a forest tear that's really hard, but you get good stuff from it.
Okay.
Pro tip.
I just went back to Coruscant to do some cleanup stuff.
Oh yeah, all the way at the beginning of the area.
Okay.
All right. So now we can get back to the story. On Kobo, you find a compass and it's broken.
Yep.
You also find out Dag and Garen gasped, kill people. Whoa!
He's a bad guy.
He murdered Jedi. Oh no!
Man, everyone likes murdering Jedi, man.
Yeah, who has it in that plot at that point? Like TBH.
Honestly.
Yeah, and we're and Cal's kind of like, what was the overall theme was like Cal was just like he was just trying to find his place in the world and he kind of has no idea what to do.
More or less.
So he thinks going to Tanalorr and just hiding everyone there to train for the Empire so no one can get to them. Basically running away instead of fighting.
I mean, once he meets with Seer, and she is part of the Hidden Path, which is something they introduced in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Yeah.
People just
smuggle Jedi out to safety.
Kind of like an underground railroad kind of thing for Jedi. I
That's
guess
true.
Yeah, I guess would be the best comparison for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Seer's like part of that, and to be fair, Tanalorr, that would be a great place for that kind of thing. That would be like the perfect place for something like that.
And Cal just keeps saying like, yeah, we're gonna train rebels, we're gonna do the society there, we're gonna move the Jedi archives over to Tanalorr, we're gonna go move Grease's bar over to Tanalorr, we're gonna put this in Tanalorr, we're gonna put that in Tanalorr, we're gonna put everything in Tanalorr. We ain't gonna stop. No one's gonna come to Tanalorr.
No.
And But Bode, his new best buddy that we keep getting told is like they're best friends. God, they're such good best friends, even though they don't talk like best friends, act like best friends, know each other's past really. But for some reason, Bode really knows Cal's past. Wink, wink, you know what's coming. So once you get all 3 compasses, you find out Ravis stole Z.
Yeah.
So you got to go back to the moon base and you got to go fight Ravis. And I was going, dude, this is going to be such a climactic fight.
That fight is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
I was not having a good time on that fight.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's real tough.
I actually didn't really have a problem with it.
Shut the fuck up.
No, dude, I at that point, I collected like so much stuff.
Really? Okay.
I had like 10 stims going into that fight.
All right.
So basically, I'd just be like, oh, he's lunging. Like a crab, like over there, and then I'd stim real quick, and then I'd fight.
I was watching, I think it was either Star Wars Explained or Eckhart's Ladder, the only 2 Star Wars channels I follow on YouTube. They were live streaming fighting Ravis on the highest difficulty, and the title was like, Fighting Ravis on Jedi Grandmaster until I just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, he's really annoying. Also, there was a glitch where the boss fight actually wouldn't end.
Oh?
Yeah, where like I think like he'd get into like some down position where the cutscene's supposed to play, but he just wouldn't.
Oh.
The cutscene wouldn't activate.
Well.
But yeah, so you kind of also it's kind of anticlimactic because you hear him talk all about like fulfilling oaths and how this man was fulfilling an oath for hundreds of years, and he just kind of like, and then like Cal goes, "Hey Ravis, even though I literally just cut off your arm, you want to go to Tanalorr?" And he goes, "Kill me. I want a warrior's death." It's like, yeah, but Tanalorr's got like smoothies and stuff, and he's like, "Just kill me." So Cal kills him.
I don't know. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that.
No. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's the point you said. There's too many villains, so we're never really fleshed out on Ravis's character.
This is true.
You just kind of kill him, and then
now that Ravis is gone, it's just Dagon.
It's just Dagon.
But then we eventually kill Dagon.
Yeah. You then go to some flying airship. Dagon goes, okay, and then I'm sorry, this is just really cool to me. I know this is stupid, and I know this is dorky, but something about the raw energy of a guy who's so angry with a missing arm, he uses his space magic to make a ghost arm for his other lightsaber, puts you in a hallucination, and then fights you on the roof of the room that he's doing. It's so anime.
It was very, very cool.
It was so rad, and don't worry, it's not too hard because you have your best friend and blood brother, Bode, to help you.
He barely helps you, though. He helps you in the first phase, and that's it.
Yeah, but don't worry,
Which
he's
sucked
there.
because that third phase was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but God, it was so cool.
It was really cool.
And then you kill him, and then you realize, uh-oh.
There's no villain anymore.
But how is there still a plot?
So you're like, okay, we're going to Tanalorr.
We got the droid, we got the compasses. Let's go to Jeddah.
And now here's where my funny story kicks in.
Oh boy, that's funny. This is a good one.
So I was at work the other day, and one of my old friends from my past job came in, and he had finally gotten a PS5 because he was on the fence, and not even on the fence about it. He wanted one, couldn't afford one, but he was finally like, I'm getting a PS5. I want to play Jedi Survivor. Comes in, we're trying to figure out like where we are in the game without providing spoilers. And I'm on Jeddah. I've brought the compass to Cordova, which is the guy who was kind of guiding you through holograms in Fallen Order. I gave him the compass. He's working on it, and we're gonna go to Tanalorr. So I, in my naivete, tell him, "Oh yeah, I'm actively on my way to Tanalorr," and he goes, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah. So I just kind of finished getting bodied by Darth Vader for 3 hours," and I just kind of look at him like, and he just goes, "Oh shit!" As we both realize, oh, I'm not actively on my way to Tanalorr.
Yeah. So what happens there is you go to Jeddah, and everyone has like a little dance party by the campfire. Everyone goes like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to go to Tanalorr."
Cal and Marin most definitely hooked up.
Yeah, and then Cal goes, "Aren't you excited, Bode? We're gonna take you and your daughter that you keep talking about to Tanalorr to be safe." And he goes, "I don't want everyone to go to Tanalorr." And Cal's like, "Shut up! We're all going to Tanalorr." And then he just grumbles and sits down, all right? and then they all go to sleep, and then they wake up, and the worst imaginable thing happens is that there's a whole entire army going to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And then
Also, Bode's evil, and he kills Cordova.
yeah, he was evil the whole time. A thing I knew since hour 1. I'm sorry. I was Nostradamus there. The fact that he just kept saying the same scripted story and he would somehow survive every single encounter. Bro went up against a literal Jedi with one gun.
Because he was also a Jedi the whole time.
But just theoretically saying, it's like, you really expect me to believe a guy with gun just walked up to a Jedi who manifested an arm into existing and just goes, this is normal. I can survive this. I can totally take him on. The guy who can, at a mere thought, launch me off a spaceship. This gun will do. And also, he would only appear at times in which he knew Cal was by himself with no help. He would leave the moment some evil villain would show up. He would situational. I don't know. Like the fact that he would never tell anything about his past ever. I immediately used my Star Wars brain. Oh, he's gonna betray them. That's what happens to every Star Wars character who's a double agent.
I did not like Bode as a villain. I think I felt like they. It's not even that they made him a likable character. It's just that I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
It just he was like. It just felt like, oh, Dagon's dead. Now what?
Yeah, they didn't have a reasoning. So like, why did Bode turn evil? Well, he joined the Empire to save his daughter, but now he's going to double cross the Empire so that he and his daughter can go to Tanalorr because he's so obsessive about making sure that this daughter is safe. That he is literally going to kill hundreds of people to make sure this daughter is safe.
They even have a line where Cal's like, "You're a monster," and he goes, "No, I'm a father." That's like some Fast and Furious shit. That's some Fast and Furious shit.
Like, he literally, and you know what's the even funnier part? If he didn't betray Tanalorr, technically he would just still be safe.
He would have been. There was no, like, had he just kept on with Cal and the rest of the Mantis crew and gone to Tanalorr, would have been fine. All he would have had to do is go back to the place, grab his daughter. No, because
either way,
think about it. With the way Cal just kind of completely bulldozes everyone on Nova Garen.
Yeah.
Bode could just be like, "Hey man, I'm a Jedi. I'm kind of being held captive by the Empire. Can you like do me a solid and help me get my daughter out of there?" Cal would have been like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, like Cal is so like adorably trusting of literally everyone and everything because he is a wholesome boy until he gets all evil and angry. But like, not only is the betrayal obvious and stupid, the fact that like it's one of those situations where if Bode just wasn't magically crazy in the last hour of the plot, everything literally could have solved, right? Right? So he betrays and sells out everyone's location, tells, hey, by the way, there's a Jedi here in the space. He steals the compass, and then they send a whole army after them, and he's like, oh, Seven Sisters is going to come after you or whatever, you know. I'm sorry, not Seven. The Inquisitors are going to come after you. And you play, and Bode basically bodies Cal, which...
I'd be interested to see if that fight is possible.
Not only that, I have to question, all right? Please hear me out, guys. Again, to reiterate, I know this is getting repetitive, but guy who manifests arm into existence, guy with a gun, now with a lightsaber, who's a little angry. How? How did Cal survive that without Bode's help?
I don't know.
But gets bodied by Bode?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, he gets his ass handed to him, so you're playing as Seer for a little bit, which is kind of fun, but not really because she doesn't have like any of Cal's moves. And then it's like, okay, here you go, fight Darth Vader now.
Yeah, it's like oh boy, an Inquisitor, and then Seer's like, oh, guys, get out, and everyone's like, why? Just get out, trust me. And then she kind of just looks at a door, and Darth Vader goes, stop, and then beats the living snot out of.
I mean, don't get me wrong, fun fight.
It was fun.
It's a really fun fight.
Darth Vader shows up.
Because you don't fight Vader in Fallen Order. He shows up at the end, but Cal's just like, nope, I'm out of here.
Which is true. That is technically
relatable.
You know, man too angry to die is coming towards you. Run. But you know,
Which, you know what? I also got to give it to him with this. Between this and Rebels and the Obi-Wan series, I'm glad we're finally understanding how raw battle-damaged Vader looks.
Oh my God, yes.
There's not a single battle-damaged Vader design I've seen where I've been like, that doesn't look that great. But no, always good, always good.
Battle-damaged.
I think was Force Unleashed the one who like first really like started that trend. I feel.
Yeah, that was like the first big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vader comes, kill. You know, even though you fight Vader, Cerise. I keep forgetting their names. What person who dies?
Seer.
Seer. What? That's a DC villain. My bad. So Seer dies, and it does like a really cool transition where like she like in her waking moments she sees Cal, but like it's like hours later.
It was funny. I didn't like get that at first.
I didn't either because it looked at first that he just showed up, and I'm like, why didn't Darth Vader?
That's what I was saying. It's like, did Darth Vader just kind of fuck off? He's like, all right, bye, Cal. I'll see you later. I'll see you in the third game.
Vader's like, I gotta take a tinkle. BRB.
But no, it's like a couple hours later, and Cal's like seeing everything through his little psychometry thing.
Everything is destroyed. Bode betrayed him, so Cal gets angry. So he goes to the Imperial base because Bode's ship had a tracker on it. He goes to the base. He goes to the guy who runs the base. Cal's like, I'm going to kill you for what you did. And the guy goes, yeah, that's right. I had a plan and everything. But you sure figured it out first. He goes, no, you did it 2 hours ago. And he went, what do you mean we did it 2 hours ago? Wait, what? Wait, no. I didn't do anything yet. And Cal's like literally about to murder him. And this guy's like, I swear we didn't actually plan anything. So Cal goes, wait a second. I think Bode wants me to kill this guy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't fall
Bode's plan all along to lead Cal to the base to kill all the Imperials. So again, he could have just said, hey, Cal, can you help me out with something?
Also, Cal's already like branded by the Empire as a terrorist.
Yeah.
Hear me out. If he died, I get it. But if he survived, what would even happen after that isn't already happening? I don't know. What, they're gonna double their forces to look for this one dude? Stupid. Bode's dumb. So you go and you find where he lives. You find his daughter.
You learn his backstory.
You learn his backstory. You find his daughter, who totally speaks, acts, and talks like an adult, but don't worry, she's like 6 or something. And she only speaks in plot-relevant plot points. So that's how you know you wrote a good child character. When every line feels so stilted, it comes out weird.
You got to include the I can't find my toy.
Yeah, I can't find my toy that's right in front of me.
The iconic introduce a child character trope is they can't find their toy, so you have to help them.
Yeah, just this child going, I can't find my toy. You're Dad's friend, aren't you? Oh, okay. Calm down, child.
You're a Jedi, aren't you? You're not supposed to be here.
I'm an exposition dump. I'm appealing, right? No, you aren't, you little tater tot.
I'm so adorable.
Watch me obviously have a 30-year-old play me. I'm just kidding, that's mean. But yeah, and then Bo goes, I'm betraying you, and then he runs away.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird, because it really seemed like they were going to have that conversation of, hey, Cal, can you help me out? But then he's like, nah, fuck you, Cal.
I'm the only one who can protect my daughter. Ah! And then he runs away.
It really feels, I don't even know how to explain it.
It feels like they had a first draft
of a totally different
character
all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like they had a first draft, and they're like, are we going to, and it's like, it's like, okay, he betrays it, gets overprotected. Mm-hmm. Okay. But however, in order to keep the double agent thing, we can't actually explore the thing that happens at the second point where he betrays it.
Yeah.
So it just kind of feels like a pivot, where it's a completely different character. So he just Bo just goes to Tanalorr, but it doesn't matter because they just kind of the group just kind of wings it and just also goes to Tanalorr.
Yeah, because they find a thing where Centauri Kree, who was Dagon's old friend, she's like, "Hey, just because you don't have the compass, there's another way to Tanalorr. I made sure just for you, Dagon Gera." And so the group's like, "All right, cool. We can still go to Tanalorr."
Yeah. Thank you, Dagon Gera, who didn't use the path specifically made for Dagon Gera. Thank goodness he didn't use that and instead was using the other method. He was collecting the compass, but he had his own special shortcut to go to Tanalorr, and he didn't take the shortcut to go to Tanalorr. And the worst part is, he already broke one of the compasses. So why he couldn't...
No, he didn't break the compass.
Yeah, he did in the flashback.
No, it was one of the Jedi.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
He's like, we can't let Dagon Gera get this.
So why did they break it if Dagon Gera had a shortcut?
They didn't know. I think the shortcut was, like, Centauri was the only one who knew about that.
Okay.
I don't think they knew. I don't think anyone else knew about the shortcut.
Nobody knew until it was the time it was plot convenient.
Correct.
So they go to Tanalorr and you do an epic showdown with Bo, and the fight sucks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. It's a terrible boss fight against a terrible villain.
I don't like parrying 10 fucking attacks, as well as dodging like 4 unblockable attacks in that same combo. It's not fun.
In the same combo, and during the time he does the unblockables, he gets all the health back that all the block meter he gets from all that.
Yeah.
And then the daughter, you find the daughter on the way, and she again still talks like an adult and does really weird things. Like, remember that moment where she's like, "I am afraid of the dark.
Oh yeah.
I do not want to go into the dark." And Marin's like, "Oh yeah,
let me
here's
make
a light.
some light with my magical powers."
And then she goes, "Wow, you're very pretty. You know that?" And I'm like, "What the Christ?"
That was.
Where did that come
And
from?
then Marin just doesn't respond.
Marin's like, "Yeah, cool."
No, she doesn't even say anything. She just goes. They just keep walking.
She's like,
doesn't even acknowledge the comment.
She's like, space autism. So, and then they go fight Bode, and then Cal's like, "Bode, we really didn't need to do any of this." And Bode's like, "I think we really did." And then,
now I'm going to kill you.
And then Cal's like, "I'm angry, and I'm gonna use the dark side to kill the guy using the dark side."
I didn't like. That felt like a cop-out. Like, it's just like, oh, how do we throw a new wrench into writing Cal's character? Let's have him turn. Let's have him flirt with the dark side just a little bit.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, we've done that with every other main Jedi character throughout all of Star Wars. That's not interesting anymore.
Yeah. Oh, good guy that flirts with the dark side. That's not like that happened with Anakin Skywalker, Rey, the kid from Rebels.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing? Does Luke? No, not Luke. Not Luke. Luke doesn't count, does he?
No, it depends on who you ask.
Depends on who you ask. You could even argue Kylo Ren, even though he's the long version of the dark side.
And even in like Clone Wars, Quinlan Voss.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all.
We're at 6.
We're at 6.
And we have 3 major main characters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 4. So yeah.
Mace Windu, if you want to go into the lore.
Yeah, Mace Windu technically.
Because like his whole thing with the way he duels his lightsaber, it's like kind of right in the line between the light side and the dark side. But that's.
Well, whatever. They never show it in any way, shape, or form.
No, they don't.
So yeah, that was a cop-out, and I still don't get how, again, Bode is stronger than man who manifested an arm, and also a bunch of how he's stronger than most Inquisitors.
Yeah.
Which then I wonder, why wasn't he an Inquisitor?
I don't know.
Why was it?
He was already working for the ISB.
I don't get it.
I mean,
Bode literally tanks this game, by the way. I really do not like him. He really sucks. Like the daughter, the 7th sister from the first game, I thought was really good.
Oh,
like
Trilla. Yeah, I like
Trilla. Was a good character.
Trilla was a great villain.
And and then to just have Bode after like how good Dagon Gera was, completely tanks the fight. And then you just kind of like murder the dad.
And then you
with
adopt.
Like the daughter. Yeah, and then
you adopt her.
Yeah, you adopt the daughter, and the daughter's just okay with this all.
She's not seemingly not upset by watching her father get killed at all.
Don't you remember that line where she's playing with a teddy bear singing a song, goes, Dad has been very angry lately. He's not himself. And I'm like, wow, you 6-year-old? I'm surprised you noticed that. When I was 6, I was just angry because I missed the new release of Teen Titans or whatever. But apparently you got your father psychoanalyzed in the corner over there.
Because they don't have Teen Titans in the Star Wars universe.
How do we know? It's in a galaxy far, far away. No one said it was the future.
But it was a long time ago.
Oh.
Teen Titans didn't exist back then.
But they got forced time travel. They can just force...
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, they got that. They can go bring back Teen Titans. But yeah, shitting on the plot aside, solid game.
It's solid. In some ways, it's better than Fallen Order. In other ways, not so much.
Yeah.
I feel like Fallen Order was a lot more focused in terms of its plot.
Focused in terms of plot, game mechanics, world building for this new character. This new game seems like it wants to do everything.
Yeah.
And the narrative's kind of doing everything as well. So it depends on what you want. You want a streamlined approach, or just like scattershot like a shotgun?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like really choose between those things sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the high points I had with this new one felt higher than the ones I had in Fallen Order.
I agree.
But the low points are lower than the points I had in Fallen
agree.
Order.
Yeah.
So this is like a, I don't know, what number wise, like high 7, low 8?
Yeah, I was kind of feeling
it's like
that.
Overall it's like a little better in my head.
Yeah.
But God, there's some really bad parts.
I think in general, full experience was, I think I did enjoy it more than Fallen Order. Mm-hmm. But when it gets down to like I don't want to say nitpickiness, because like the problems I have with it are legitimate criticisms. I do think that Fallen Order does a little bit more, but I do think, but in general, I think I liked this more than Fallen Order.
Yeah,
I would say 8.
Yeah,
8 out of 10. I would say.
Okay, 8 out of 10. Good. Okay, good. All right, I agree with that. Solid game. Go team. We did another game review.
We did it.
Yay.
Check back in another like 5 or 6 months.
What are you talking about? Didn't you say Resident Evil 4 is the next game you're playing?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Check back in about 5 months.